How's it going, guys? And welcome back to BL3's Forgotten, the series where I take a look at underused and not often talked about pieces of gear to determine whether or not they deserve to be remembered within the modern meta of the game or should be left behind and forgotten. And today we are taking a look at the Quickdraw. If you'd like to pick up a Quickdraw for yourself, you're going to want to fast travel over to Vestige and make your way out and around over to Josie the Undertaker, where you can pick up the quest, The Quick and the Quickerer. During this quest, you'll help old Slim Jim show his drunk father his cool Tin Man cosplay or some shit. I wasn't really paying attention, but after turning it in at Josie, you will be awarded the Quickdraw. The only other way to obtain this done is through the Diamond Loot Room. The Quickdraw is a unique purple rarity Jacob's. It has completely locked parts, meaning it is only non-elemental, and there is only one variant of this. Along with that, it cannot roll with any anointments. The unique effect of the Quickdraw is that upon swapping to it, the magazine is completely refilled, and the weapon is granted 140% bonus weapon damage for 3 seconds. This is indicated by the barrel of the gun glowing as if you had an amp shield on during this time. Now, this is not only one of the most usable of the non-legendary uniques, but it is probably up there as one of the best by a long shot. The Quickdraw is surprisingly effective, and that 140% damage being just straight weapon damage is very good for things like Moze and Amara, as they don't have too many weapon damage boosts in their skill trees. This is honestly probably the most noticeable on Moze, as she has some of the least amounts of weapon damage potential, but gains so much elemental and splash damage, so gaining 140% weapon damage just for free out of nowhere is absolutely insane for her. Now, while Zane and Flak do have a decent bit of weapon damage themselves, Zane especially having up to a couple hundred to 1,000-ish weapon damage at a time, it's still 140%, and that is still pretty decent. I did find that it was a little bit more effective on Flak, as with Zane, you kind of don't notice the swap damage as much. Because this weapon is based on weapon swapping, it does have a pretty decent synergy with builds that use Cold Bore, as you have an even further incentive to be swapping your weapons around constantly. Along with that, because it is a single projectile Jacob's weapon, skills and gear like Two Fang or Playing Dirty or the Infernal Wish have very good synergy with it, as adding more projectiles just doubles your damage output, which also means you get that 140% damage boost on an extra 1 to 2 more projectiles. Now, of course, there is a major downside here, and that is that this gun cannot come anointed, but I did go ahead and save edit in an anointed version of this gun, so we can go ahead and see just what difference it would make. If you'd like to give the anointed version of this gun a go yourself, in the description is a link to my Discord server, which has a save file, which has an anointed version of the Quickdraw and the other guns that I've talked about on this series that are usually unable to be anointed. Now, surprisingly, I don't think the anointment made that much of a difference. I felt like this gun was still just as powerful without an anointment as it was with an anointment. Of course, there was definitely a change, and it was pretty noticeable, but it was mostly just in the actual consistency of this gun. Being a Jacob's, of course, this has very good synergy with the Overkill Guardian rank, and when you're not stacking Overkill, the anointment kind of just helped supplement your damage a little bit more and made it feel a little bit more just consistent between Overkill chains. But while it would be nice if this gun was able to roll with an anointment in vanilla, this is one of the few guns where an anointment doesn't feel like it makes that big of a difference. For a purple rarity unique with locked parts and no available anointment, the Quickdraw is actually surprisingly really good. Not just usable, but genuinely a good weapon, and a pretty fun weapon with a gimmick that actually feels good to use. While not exactly just a plug-and-play gun, you do need to actually have a sort of build that this can synergize well with. For any sort of Jacob's focused build, the Quickdraw is very strong and a very fun choice. But that's gonna about do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, definitely leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that. Down in the description will be a link to my Twitch channel where I will be live right after this video goes up, and below that will be a link to my Discord server where you can come and join and hang out. But with that all being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one.